Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome, carried more weight on his shoulders than most of us could even imagine. Wars threatened his empire, plagues decimated his people, political betrayal lurked in every corner. And yet, in the quiet of his tent, surrounded by uncertainty, he wrote to himself, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Pause for a moment and let that sink in. What if your happiness wasn't tied to your paycheck, the approval of others, the turbulence of the world, or even your own fears? What if it depended solely on the discipline of your mind, on the way you chose to think each day? That's the heart of Stoicism. It doesn't promise a life without pain or difficulty. It doesn't deny that suffering exists. Instead, it teaches us something far more powerful, that peace and strength are not given, but practiced daily, and that happiness, real and steady happiness, is not an accident of fortune. It's a choice, a discipline, a responsibility. In this video, push yourself to be happy every day. Stoic mindset for daily peace and strength. I'm going to share with you 10 Stoic principles you can apply right now to cultivate resilience, inner calm, and genuine happiness. These are not abstract ideas. They are practical, battle-tested lessons, lived and written by philosophers who faced more chaos than most of us ever will. But here's the promise. If you stay with me until the very end, you will discover not only these 10 principles, but also the one final teaching, the last point that holds the greatest key to living with daily peace and unshakable strength. It is the teaching that even emperors clung to when the world threatened to break them. Think of this as training. Not training your body, but training your soul. Just as you push your muscles to grow stronger, you must push your mind to grow steadier. Happiness will not arrive on its own. You must push yourself toward it every single day. And that's exactly what we are going to uncover together. Now, before we dive in, I want to ask you to do something simple, yet powerful. In the comments, I want you to write 3 words. I choose peace. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. By writing those words, you make a small declaration, not to me, not to others, but to yourself, that today you are willing to push yourself toward happiness and strength. So get ready. Let's begin this journey into the Stoic mindset and discover how to live every single day with peace, clarity, and power. Principle 10. Gratitude is your daily power. Gratitude is the quiet force that turns ordinary days into extraordinary experiences. It is the discipline that transforms the way we interpret reality, the lens through which life stops being a series of complaints and starts becoming a field of opportunities. The Stoics understood this with absolute clarity. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, did not waste his mornings by focusing on the endless crises that surrounded him. Instead, he reminded himself of the blessing of being alive at all. He wrote that when you rise each day, you should consider the privilege it is to breathe, to think, to love, to act. For him, gratitude was not decoration, but survival. It was the practice that allowed him to endure war, plague, and betrayal without surrendering to despair. Gratitude in the Stoic sense is not shallow optimism or forced positivity. It does not ask you to deny the reality of pain or to ignore injustice. Instead, it demands clarity. It trains the eye to notice what is still present even when much is lost. It teaches the mind to focus on what is given instead of what is withheld. Happiness is not found in the endless chase for more, but in the recognition of enough. A man or woman who cannot see what they already have will always be poor, even surrounded by abundance. But the one who can recognize the value of breath, health, friendship, or a single day of life will carry wealth within, regardless of external circumstances. Think for a moment of your own days. How often have you allowed a small inconvenience to poison your entire mood? A slow line at the store, a missed message, a piece of bad traffic. These minor irritations expand until they dominate your perception. Yet at the very same time, your body is still carrying you. Your lungs are still drawing air, the sun is still rising, and the people you love may still be near. Gratitude is the act of shifting focus. It is the decision to withdraw attention from trivial frustrations and redirect it toward the quiet abundance that surrounds you constantly. Seneca, who spent his life navigating politics, wealth, and eventual exile, wrote that no person is poor who can see what they already have. For him, poverty was not a lack of possessions, but a lack of awareness. To live without gratitude is to live in permanent hunger, no matter how full your table. To live with gratitude is to feel full, even with little. It's not about ignoring pain, but about refusing blindness to blessings. Gratitude for the Stoics was a discipline of repetition. It was not to be practiced once a year like a seasonal holiday, but every single day. The mind is like a field. What you plant will grow. If you plant resentment, anger, and envy, your thoughts will multiply those weeds. If you plant gratitude, patience, and awareness, then your mind will grow a harvest of peace. That is why Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations for himself. They were not public writings, but reminders. He was training his vision, repeating to himself the truths that could stabilize his spirit. Gratitude was his morning and evening ritual, his constant companion. Imagine beginning your mornings with 3 short acknowledgments. I am grateful for the air I breathe. I am grateful for the chance to rise again. I am grateful for the opportunity to act with virtue today. Such words might seem simple, but simplicity is power. Over time, these acknowledgments reshape the way you perceive reality. You begin to notice more than you complain. You begin to count blessings rather than grievances. Gratitude becomes your reflex. The opposite of gratitude is entitlement. Entitlement whispers that life owes you comfort, recognition, and success. But the universe is not designed to satisfy personal expectations. Rivers flow without consulting us. The seasons turn without asking. And fortune changes without apology. Entitlement makes us fragile because every unmet expectation feels like injustice. Gratitude makes us resilient because every small gift feels like abundance. Epictetus, born into slavery and later freed, understood this perfectly. He could have lived in bitterness. Instead, he trained himself to see freedom in the one place it truly exists. The mind gratitude for him was not about possessions which could be taken away, but about virtues and choices which could not. When you expect less and appreciate more, happiness begins to appear in ordinary places. A simple meal feels like a banquet. A walk in silence becomes meditation. A conversation with a friend becomes treasure. Gratitude multiplies the value of ordinary life until nothing feels wasted. Yet the true test of gratitude is not in comfort, but in adversity. What about illness, betrayal, or death? How can one give thanks in such moments? The Stoics would answer that gratitude becomes even more necessary in those times. Not to erase grief, but to prevent grief from consuming everything. Seneca wrote that even challenges deserve a form of thanks, for they sharpen character and reveal inner strength. Hardship teaches patience. Loss clarifies priorities. Pain deepens compassion. Gratitude here does not mean joy in suffering. It means awareness that even suffering carries seeds of wisdom. Marcus Aurelius faced a devastating plague that killed millions, including members of his own family. He felt grief deeply, yet he continued to write about the value of virtue and the importance of gratitude. He gave thanks for the chance to serve humanity even in times of horror. His gratitude did not erase his sorrow, but it allowed him to bear it without collapse. To practice Stoic gratitude, begin the day with acknowledgement. Remind yourself upon waking that this day was not promised, yet it has been given. Practice evening reflection by reviewing what went well, no matter how small. Give thanks for the people around you. Write to them, speak to them, or at least recognize them silently in your heart. Give thanks for difficulties too, for they test and shape you. And practice silent gratitude by noticing the details, the ground beneath your feet, the rhythm of your breath, the warmth of sunlight. Gratitude does not always need to be spoken, but it must always be lived. Perspective is everything. Two people may face the same situation, but one curses while the other gives thanks. One loses wealth and despairs, while another loses wealth and still gives thanks for health. One faces failure and collapses, while another sees the lesson and grows. Gratitude changes the story you tell yourself. You cannot always control events, but you can always control interpretation. Gratitude is the interpretation that gives strength. Gratitude is not automatic. It requires effort. It requires discipline. It requires pushing yourself every day to see abundance instead of lack. That is why it is a Stoic principle of happiness, because it does not come naturally to the untrained mind. The untrained mind always sees what is missing. The Stoic trains to see what is present. And when you practice this discipline, peace grows within you like a fortress. If you want to push yourself to be happy every day, begin with gratitude. Begin not with chasing wealth, recognition, or applause, but with acknowledging that life itself is already a gift. From gratitude comes peace, and from peace comes strength. That is why gratitude is your daily power. So I will leave you with a simple challenge. Write 3 words in the comments below. I choose peace, not for me, not for others, but for yourself. Those 3 words are your declaration that you will train your vision each day to see what is present, to recognize abundance, and to carry gratitude as your strength. Gratitude is not weakness. Gratitude is not naive. Gratitude is the sharpest weapon against despair, the clearest shield against resentment, and the surest path toward daily happiness. Gratitude is your daily power. Use it. Principle 9. Train your mind like a warrior. The human mind is the most powerful tool you possess. Yet, it is also the most dangerous if left undisciplined. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They compared philosophy to training, a lifelong practice, a form of exercise that shapes character the way physical labor shapes the body. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Those words are not poetry. They are instructions. They are the call to discipline, the command to build mental resilience with the same rigor that a soldier builds strength for battle. To be happy every day, to carry peace and stability no matter what life throws at you, you must train your mind like a warrior. A warrior does not step onto the battlefield unprepared. He does not hope that courage will simply appear when fear rises. He practices, he conditions, he repeats until readiness becomes instinct. The Stoic philosopher does the same with thought. Life is a battlefield filled with unexpected challenges, insults, losses, and temptations. If your mind is untrained, you will fall at the first strike. If your mind is disciplined, you will stand firm even when the storm rages. Happiness, in this sense, is not something that comes to the passive. It is a prize earned by the disciplined. Epictetus, who began life as a slave, trained himself daily through reflection and self-questing. He knew that circumstances could never be fully controlled, but thoughts could be. He advised his students to rehearse difficulties in their minds before they came to anticipate hardships, so that they would not be crushed when reality arrived. He would tell them, "Do not say, 'I have lost it,' but rather, 'I have returned it.'" In this way, he trained his mind to accept change without despair. That is the mind of a warrior, prepared, alert, and disciplined. To train your mind like a warrior, you must first recognize that it is weak when untrained. Just as the body grows lazy without movement, the the mind grows chaotic without guidance. You may believe that your thoughts are natural and spontaneous, but most of them are habits. Repeated patterns formed by years of neglect. Complaints become reflexes. Fears become routines. Anger becomes instinct. Without training, you become a slave to these habits. With training, you reclaim freedom. Marcus Aurelius disciplined his thoughts each night by writing them down. His meditations are nothing but exercises, reminders to himself, corrections to his own impulses. He knew that if he did not control his mind, the empire of Rome itself would feel like chains around him. A trained mind gave him freedom even when responsibility threatened to suffocate him. A trained mind gave him clarity in the chaos of war and courage in the face of death. Seneca, surrounded by wealth and power, did not trust comfort. He knew comfort weakens the mind. He practiced voluntary discomfort to sharpen his resilience. He would remind himself that the mind is tested not in pleasure, but in adversity. If you want to be happy every day, you cannot let your mind remain soft. Like a warrior, you must train in conditions that test your endurance. You must face small challenges intentionally so that great challenges do not overwhelm you. How do you train the mind like a warrior in daily life? Begin with awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts as they rise. Most people drift through life reacting, unaware of the constant storm within. Training begins with watching, noticing the complaints, the judgments, the fears that arise automatically. Do not fight them at first. Simply see them clearly. Awareness is the first weapon in the warrior's arsenal. Next comes discipline. Choose one practice that strengthens your mind daily. For the Stoics, journaling was essential. Each morning, write down what you expect to face and how you choose to respond. Each evening, review what happened and correct where you failed. This simple ritual trains the mind to anticipate, reflect, and improve. Another practice is meditation. Not in mystical terms, but in Stoic reflection. Sit quietly, breathe, and repeat to yourself the truths you must not forget. That life is short, that control is limited, that virtue is always possible. These repetitions carve new pathways in the mind. A warrior also rehearses battle. In Stoic practice, this means imagining difficulties before they happen. Before you step out each day, tell yourself, I may be insulted, I may be ignored, I may be betrayed. I may lose what I love. If these things come, I will not be surprised, for I have trained for them. By anticipating, you rob hardship of its power to shock. You meet it with readiness instead of despair. But training is not only about defense, it's also about offense, about advancing towards strength. You must deliberately expose yourself to small difficulties. Fast for a day, sleep on the ground, take a cold shower, walk in the rain. Do not do this for pain, but for power. Each voluntary discomfort reminds your mind that it does not need luxury to survive, that it can endure more than it believes. A warrior does not collapse when comfort is taken away, because he is trained to live without it. The mind of a warrior is not only strong, but also calm. True strength is not the roar of anger, but the stillness of control. Epictetus reminded his students that anger chains you, that resentment poisons you, that fear blinds you. Training the mind means cutting those chains, cleansing that poison, clearing that blindness. A warrior does not panic at the first strike. He remains steady, assessing, choosing wisely. That is the goal of Stoic training, to respond with reason instead of impulse, with virtue instead of vice. Happiness comes as the result of this training, not because life becomes easier, but because you become stronger. The undisciplined mind collapses under stress, complains at inconvenience, and despairs at loss. The trained mind accepts what comes, adapts to difficulty, and continues forward with dignity. Happiness is not the absence of pain, but the presence of strength. When you train your mind like a warrior, you build that strength, and happiness follows naturally. Think of the warrior preparing for battle. He does not know exactly what the enemy will do, but he trains for every possibility. In the same way, you cannot know what tomorrow will bring. Perhaps loss, perhaps joy, perhaps insult, perhaps praise. If you train your mind each day, none of it will surprise you. You will be steady in victory and steady in defeat. That steadiness is peace. That steadiness is happiness. The Stoics remind us that no one else can train your mind for you. The responsibility is yours. Philosophy is not something to read once. It is something to practice daily. Every challenge is an opportunity to train. Every irritation is a chance to test patience. Every temptation is a moment to strengthen virtue. Life itself is the battlefield, and every day is training ground. So push yourself. Do not wait for peace to appear by chance. Do not expect happiness to arrive as a gift. Discipline your thoughts as a soldier disciplines his movements. Rehearse difficulties. Embrace small discomforts, and remind yourself daily of what truly matters. When you stumble, correct yourself. When you fall, rise again. The mind, like the body, grows stronger through repetition. In time, you will notice the transformation. Insults will no longer pierce you. Loss will no longer break you. Fear will no longer rule you. You will carry peace within, not because the world is kind, but because your mind is trained. That is the essence of Stoic resilience. That is what it means to train your mind like a warrior. And so, as you reflect on this principle, I invite you to declare your training with 3 simple words. Write in the comments, "I choose peace." By doing so, you are not only repeating a phrase, you are making a commitment to yourself, to your own discipline, to your own warrior's path. Each day you push yourself, you step closer to the unshakable strength the Stoics promised. Train your mind like a warrior, and happiness will become your daily companion. Principle 8. Practice voluntary discomfort. The human tendency is to avoid pain, to seek comfort, to move toward ease and away from hardship. It is natural, instinctive, and deeply rooted in survival. Yet the Stoics, who spent their lives studying human nature and the path to true resilience, taught the opposite, that comfort weakens and hardship strengthens. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic teachers, advised his friends to practice poverty, to deliberately eat coarse bread, wear rough clothing, and sleep on the ground from time to time. His purpose was not cruelty toward himself, nor self-punishment. His purpose was freedom. He understood that those who are slaves to comfort are never free. The moment comfort disappears, so does their peace. By practicing discomfort voluntarily, you train yourself to be unshaken when discomfort comes without warning. Imagine a soldier who only trains in perfect weather with full meals and easy conditions. When the real battle arrives in rain, mud, and hunger, he collapses because he has never prepared for such realities. The Stoics believed life is exactly the same. Life will not always bring you soft beds, warm meals, and calm circumstances. There will be storms, illnesses, betrayals, and sudden losses. If you have lived only in comfort, these events will destroy you. If you have trained yourself through voluntary discomfort, they will not surprise you. You will endure them with strength. Seneca once wrote to Lucilius, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" Notice his question, "Is this what I feared?" He invites us to discover through experience that discomfort is rarely as terrible as our imagination paints it. Hunger passes. Cold can be endured. A hard floor will not kill you. When you practice voluntary discomfort, you reveal to yourself that your strength is greater than your fears. Marcus Aurelius, though emperor of Rome, reminded himself to live simply. Surrounded by wealth and power, he chose to eat modestly and to reject luxury when possible. He wrote that the body needs little to survive, and that the mind becomes clearer when freed from the chains of excess. Comfort breeds dependency. Dependency breeds fragility. Voluntary discomfort restores independence. When you know you can live with less, no one controls you. Not fortune, not wealth, not circumstance. Consider the modern world. We are surrounded by technology designed to eliminate effort. We order food with a touch. We adjust the temperature with a button. We travel without walking. These conveniences are not evil, but they can make the mind fragile. The slightest delay enrages us. The smallest inconvenience unsettles us. We lose patience quickly because we are untrained in hardship. The Stoics would tell us, if you want daily happiness, you must practice discomfort intentionally. Only then will peace become steady, unshaken by small disturbances. Voluntary discomfort can take many forms. It can be physical, like fasting, exposing yourself to cold, reducing your diet to simple foods, or walking long distances. It can be material, like wearing plain clothes instead of fashionable ones, or sleeping without luxury. It can be social, like practicing silence in a noisy world, or accepting the possibility of being ignored without complaint. Each act is a reminder that happiness does not depend on comfort. Epictetus, born into slavery, knew discomfort by necessity, not choice. Yet, he still advised his students to practice self-denial even when they gained freedom. He understood that the mind must be trained not to crave excess. He warned that if you cannot endure small discomforts voluntarily, you will never endure great ones when life forces them upon you. The Stoic does not wait to be tested. He prepares for the test before it comes. The purpose of voluntary discomfort is not misery, but mastery. When you choose hardship for yourself, you build confidence in your own endurance. You learn that you can live with less, that you can face what you once feared. Then, when fortune removes your comforts, you do not collapse. You are already prepared. This preparation creates freedom, and freedom creates happiness. Think of your own life. How often do you avoid discomfort at all costs? How often do you choose the easiest path, the softest seat, the most convenient option? These choices may feel pleasant in the moment, but over time, they weaken you. They train your mind to expect ease. And when life inevitably delivers difficulty, you feel crushed. The Stoics would urge you, reverse the habit. Choose difficulty in small ways so that large difficulties no longer terrify you. Sleep on the floor for a night, skip a meal, and remind yourself that hunger is bearable. Wear plain clothes and notice how little the judgment of others truly matters. Take a cold shower and feel the strength of your own endurance. Walk instead of driving and see that your body is capable. These are not punishments, they are practices. Each one whispers to your mind, you are stronger than you think, and you need less than you imagine. The benefits of voluntary discomfort go beyond endurance. They sharpen gratitude. When you fast, the simplest meal feels like a feast. When you endure cold, warmth feels like a blessing. When you give up luxury, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Gratitude grows in the soil of discomfort. The Stoics believed happiness requires gratitude, and gratitude flourishes when you remind yourself not to take life's gifts for granted. Seneca wrote that he who is prepared for poverty enjoys wealth more. Why? Because he does not depend on it. He can savor comfort without being enslaved to it. The untrained man needs comfort constantly, and therefore never feels satisfied. The trained Stoic can live with or without it, and therefore feels free. Freedom is happiness, and happiness requires training. Voluntary discomfort also reduces fear. Most fear is born from imagination. We fear hunger, poverty, rejection, or loneliness because we imagine them as unbearable. But when you step into these discomforts voluntarily, the illusion disappears. You discover that you can survive hunger, that you can endure cold, that rejection does not kill you, that loneliness can even bring clarity. Fear weakens because reality is less frightening than imagination. That is why Seneca asked, "Is this what I feared?" It is a powerful question that dissolves fear by confronting it directly. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that luxury corrupts the soul. He did not despise comfort, but he refused to depend on it. He knew emperors who were destroyed by their addiction to luxury, rulers who could not live without banquets and soft beds. Such men, though powerful in appearance, were weak in spirit. True strength lies in being able to live simply. True happiness lies in not being chained to what is fragile. In the modern world, voluntary discomfort can become your shield against anxiety. When you are used to small discomforts, unexpected difficulties will not overwhelm you. When you practice fasting, you fear hunger less. When you practice silence, you fear solitude less. When you practice simplicity, you fear loss less. Each discomfort builds resilience, and resilience is the foundation of peace. Happiness is not constant pleasure. Happiness is the ability to remain steady in the face of life's ups and downs. By practicing discomfort, you cultivate that steadiness. You push yourself toward freedom, gratitude, and strength. The Stoics believed that without such training, the mind becomes soft, fragile, and restless. With it, the mind becomes strong, stable, and free. So do not fear discomfort. Seek it in small ways. Let it teach you. Let it remind you of your resilience. Let it free you from the chains of dependency. When you can look at discomfort and say, "Is this what I feared?" you are already victorious. You are already happy because your peace no longer depends on fragile comforts. And so, as we close this reflection on voluntary discomfort, I ask you to make a small declaration. Write 3 words in the comments. I choose peace. By doing so, you affirm that happiness is not found in endless comfort, but in the strength you cultivate each day. Voluntary discomfort is not punishment. It is preparation. It is your training ground for freedom. Practice it, and happiness will no longer be fragile. It will be yours, steady and strong. Principle 7. Stay present. The Stoics insisted again and again that happiness is not hidden in the past, nor locked away in the future. It is here in this moment, available to you, if only you train yourself to see it. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled during wars, plagues, and political turmoil, wrote in his Meditations, "Confine yourself to the present." He reminded himself that yesterday is gone, tomorrow is uncertain, and the only place where life actually happens is now. To live outside the present is to live in illusion, chasing shadows or wrestling with ghosts. To stay present is to live in reality, the only place where peace is possible. Think about how easily the mind wanders. You replay old arguments in your head, reliving the sting of words spoken years ago. You imagine future disasters that may never come, filling yourself with dread. You compare your current situation with an idealized version of what could have been or what should be. Each of these mental habits drags you away from the present. And when you abandon the present, you abandon happiness. The Stoics would say, you are letting yourself be enslaved by time that does not exist anymore, or does not yet exist at all. Epictetus taught that events themselves do not disturb us, but our judgments about them do. Most of our judgments are not about what is happening now, but about what has already passed or what might happen. We poison the present with regrets and anxieties. We allow memories to haunt us and fantasies to dominate us. To stay present is to cut those chains. It is to refuse to let the past dictate today, and to refuse to let the future steal today's peace. Seneca wrote about the foolishness of wasting life in worry. He said that life is long if you know how to use it, but most people spend it either grieving over the past or trembling about the future. He compared life to a journey. The traveler who constantly looks backward or forward misses the very ground beneath his feet. The wise traveler notices the step he is taking. Now, happiness, therefore, is not at the end of the road, but in each step if the mind remains present. To practice presence, the Stoic way, is not easy because the mind resists. The mind craves distraction. It clings to stories of the past to justify itself, and it projects into the future to control what it cannot control. To pull the mind back to the present requires discipline, the kind of discipline the Stoics called a daily exercise. Marcus Aurelius trained himself in this exercise every morning and every evening. He wrote reminders to himself. Do not waste yourself in fear. Do not wander into desire. Return to this moment. This is enough. Presence is powerful because it shrinks problems to their real size. When you face a difficulty and remain present, you deal only with what is here, a task at hand, a conversation, a single step. When you leave the present, problems multiply into 1,000 possibilities. You no longer fight what is. You fight what was and what might be. That is why anxiety feels overwhelming. It is the weight of imagined futures piled upon a single moment. To stay present is to lift off those unnecessary burdens and carry only what is real. The Stoics would often practice a form of meditation on the present. Epictetus advised his students to pause and ask themselves, what is in my power now? Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but now. Often, the answer is simple: your attitude, your breath, your next action, nothing more. This clarity brings peace because it limits your concerns to the manageable, to the real. Happiness grows when you focus on what can actually be touched and shaped in this moment. Consider how presence changes even ordinary experiences. Eating a meal absent-mindedly while scrolling through distractions leaves you unsatisfied, searching for more. Eating the same meal with full attention, tasting, smelling, noticing each bite fills you with gratitude. Walking through a street while lost in thought makes life blur past you. Walking the same street with presence reveals details, colors, and faces that make life rich. Happiness is often hidden in these ordinary moments, but you only find it if you are present. The Stoics were not naive about pain. They did not say the present is always pleasant. Sometimes the present contains suffering, loss, or fear. But even then, staying present is more powerful than escaping into past or future. When you remain with pain, you deal only with this breath, this moment. Pain becomes bearable. When you flee to the future, imagining endless suffering, or to the past, remembering better days, pain multiplies. Presence reduces suffering to its smallest form. That is why Marcus Aurelius wrote that man can endure any pain if he confines it to the present moment. Training presence requires constant effort. You will be tempted to escape, to drift, to wander in thought. The Stoic discipline is to gently return again and again. Some practices can help. Begin your morning with a reminder. Today I will live only this day. When regrets arise, tell yourself the past cannot touch me now. When fear of the future rises, tell yourself the future is not here yet. Return to your breath. Return to your step. Return to the task in front of you. You can also use journaling to train presence. At night, write down where your mind wandered and where you lost today by living elsewhere in time. This reflection trains you to notice faster, to catch yourself sooner, to live more fully tomorrow. With practice, presence becomes natural, and peace follows naturally. Modern life pulls you constantly away from presence. Devices demand your attention. News floods you with distant fears, and comparisons drag you into imagined futures. To be present today is to resist a culture of distraction. It is to rebel against noise with stillness. The Stoics would see presence as an act of strength, a discipline that separates the free from the enslaved. The one who is present owns his time. The one who is distracted loses it. Happiness in the Stoic sense is not pleasure, but tranquility, and tranquility cannot exist anywhere but here, now. If you wish to push yourself to be happy every day, you must push yourself to remain present. It is not natural to the wandering mind, but it is possible with training. Each time you pull yourself back to the moment, you build strength. Each time you resist the pull of regret or fear, you grow freer. So stay present. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. When you work, just work. When you speak, just speak. Each moment fully lived contains more peace than a lifetime of distraction. Do not let life slip past you while your mind is elsewhere. And as you take this lesson with you, I leave you with a small challenge. Write 3 words in the comments. I choose peace. Let those words be your anchor, your reminder to return to the present. Because peace is never somewhere else. It is always here, waiting for you in this very moment. Principle 6. Master your desires. The Stoics taught that unhappiness often comes not from what we lack, but from what we crave. Desire, when uncontrolled, is endless. It pulls the mind in every direction, always whispering that happiness lies just beyond the next possession, the next recognition, the next indulgence. Yet the moment you grasp what you thought would satisfy you, desire shifts and new hunger appears. Seneca wrote that it is not the man who has little who is poor, but the man who always wants more. To live chained to desire is to live enslaved, because your peace is always held hostage by what you do not yet have. To be free, you must master your desires. Marcus Aurelius, who had at his disposal the wealth of an empire, reminded himself daily that luxury is unnecessary. He wrote that the body needs little bread to eat, water to drink, and a roof to shield from rain. Beyond that, excess serves only to distract and weaken the spirit. He warned himself not to become addicted to soft cushions, rich banquets, or flattering words. Why? Because the more you depend on them, the less capable you are of enduring their absence. Comfort breeds fragility, and fragility breeds misery. The one who has mastered his desires can enjoy luxury when it is present, but does not suffer when it is absent. That is true strength. Desire is not only about wealth or possessions. It takes many forms. Some desire praise, some desire control, some desire constant entertainment. The Stoics saw all of these as dangerous because they place happiness in the hands of something unstable. Praise depends on others who may change their opinion in an instant. Control depends on circumstances which can shift without warning. Entertainment numbs but never fulfills, leaving the mind restless once the distraction ends. Each of these desires promises happiness, but delivers only dependence. Epictetus was clear about this. If you want freedom, stop tying your peace to things outside your control. The more desires you attach to external things, the more vulnerable you become. If you desire wealth, you will fear poverty. If you desire praise, you will fear criticism. If you desire comfort, you will fear hardship. The Stoics did not say you must reject all pleasure or abandon all comfort. They said you must learn to master desire so that you are never its prisoner. Seneca advised practicing voluntary poverty, not because he despised possessions, but because he wanted to remind himself of how little is truly necessary. He would wear rough clothing, eat simple food, and say to himself, "Is this what I feared?" In this way, he dissolved the illusion that luxury was essential. He discovered that peace comes not from abundance, but from sufficiency. Once you realize you need little, you are no longer controlled by desire. The pursuit of desire often creates the opposite of happiness. Think of a person chasing wealth without limit. Each achievement brings temporary joy, but quickly it fades, replaced by new ambition. The cycle never ends. The mind becomes restless, always reaching, never satisfied. The Stoics warned that this is not living, but slavery. The slave of desire may appear powerful, but he is fragile because his peace depends on circumstances that will eventually change. True power belongs to the one who has mastered his desires, who can remain content with little and steady in abundance. Mastering desire requires training,